Question number 8, Maggie Chapman.
Thank you. To ask the Scottish Government what steps it is taking to address any racial profiling practices in Police Scotland.
Cabinet Secretary Keith Brown.
Police Scotland should operate at all times with fairness, integrity and respect, and irrespective of ethnicity. The Chief Constable has made clear his commitment that Police Scotland must become an actively anti-racist organisation. In respect of Stop and Search, the Code of Practice in Scotland was developed by an independent advisory group. It was approved by the Scottish Parliament and came into force on the 11th of May 2017 and was reviewed in 2019 and sets out clearly the rules for when and how the police in Scotland can use Stop and Search.
Maggie Chapman.
I thank the Cabinet Secretary for that response. Figures released in December show that people from minority ethnic backgrounds were up to 20 times more likely to be stopped by Police Scotland under counter-terrorism powers. But evidence tells us that far-right domestic terrorism is by far the greatest current threat, and that racial profiling is both unacceptable and counterproductive. Does the Cabinet Secretary think that a reassessment of what a terrorism threat looks like is urgently needed in a Scotland that welcomes refugees and other immigrants? And what actions does he consider necessary to ensure we tackle racist police practices?
Cabinet Secretary.
Just to be clear, first of all, that Scotland welcomes people from all over the world. Over successive generations, migrants and refugees have contributed greatly to our society, as well as bringing diversity to our communities. And racism in any form is abhorrent and wholly unacceptable. Counter-terrorism is reserved and is delivered through the UK Government Contest Strategy. The Scottish Government is actively engaged with the Home Office to ensure that the recently announced review of the strategy appropriately reflects the situation, and that takes into consideration the terrorism threat throughout the UK, including Scotland. The operation of counter-terrorism in Scotland is a matter for Police Scotland, taking account of the specific code of practice for counter-terrorism stop and search at the border issued by the Home Office. I do agree with Maggie Chapman that in relation to the threat and the assessment of the threat of terrorism, that Police Scotland hold perhaps the biggest piece of the jigsaw, and they do look at the issues which have been raised by Maggie Chapman on a regular basis.